Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks. Today, The Hungry Gamer is back with another episode of the Monthly Menu, and today we are talking about the top 5 games of May 2025. As a reminder, these are the games that hit my table the most during the month, and I count sessions where I sat down and played. So if I sat down and played, say, 4 games in a row of Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber, that counts the same as one sit-down of Oathsworn, just to try to kind of keep it balanced. If there's ever a tie, I default to the game that had the longest playtime. Now, this was a month that the play I was in was over. However, we were dealing with the end of the school year. So again, a lighter month regarding number of plays for me. And when you add into that, there was the amazing Kubla Khan Prime that I went to, which involves me playing a whole bunch of different games one time. The number 5 game on the list actually only got a single play, but I played with 5 other people. It was a longer session, and we actually had to cut it short due to the time of the convention, so I'm putting that one at number 5. But before we can get there, let's jump into the picks for the month. First off, we had the list. Nope, didn't happen. I don't know when we're going to knock out these last few games on the list. There's not a lot left. There's like 4 games left on the list to play, and I don't know when we're going to get to them. At some point, we will get to them, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when that's going to be. The next was Run, 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 which had been on the picks for 2 months straight, and I didn't get to it again. I actually took it out. I set it up, and I wasn't able to get to it because I don't remember why I couldn't get to it. I don't know, but I couldn't get to it, and so didn't happen. Next, we had Oathsworn. Yes, that did get played actually several times. I went through several of the different scenarios, used a couple of characters I hadn't used before, because I kind of swap them in and out every now and then, and I also am playing with a permadeath, so if a character dies, I actually just eliminate it completely. And so I kept pushing through that. I'm maybe 60% of the way through the campaign, and I'm actually kind of anxious to keep going. Really good game. It was my game of the year a couple years ago. Next was a game that I wasn't exactly sure when it arrived for me. I knew it arrived to most backers in October or November or so of last year. But there was a piece missing out of mine, not a complete factory mess up, and so I actually didn't get mine till closer to December when my last bits and bobs showed up. And so I hadn't played it, and I was excited to try it, and yes, I did get Inferno played. I actually scheduled a game of it and played it at Kubla Khan. It wasn't an official game, but set one up, had people scheduled, we got in, we played. Really, really clever game. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. And I'm actually going to go back and double check exactly when my last little pieces arrived, because it's definitely in the discussion for me for my game of the year this year. There's a lot of time left, and I already have a list of about 7 or 8 games I'm thinking about, but it is definitely in that mix if it's one that's when it showed up. Next on the list was Lunar Rush, and I knew I was going to play this because I was making a video, which is not released yet, but I was making a video about the new expansion. And yes, I did get it played. I got to kind of go through all the different factions that I hadn't played before, and I actually played a new faction I hadn't played before. So really enjoyed that. The new expansion, it's a really good expansion with some asymmetric factions that are quite cool. So, jumping into the top 5 games of the month, coming at number 5, as I mentioned, this was only a single play, but longer game. I actually played it with 6. It's only supposed to be played with 5. I taught it to people. 2 other people around the table were like, oh my gosh, I really need to get this game. Is there a Hungry Gamer discount because it's an official game at a convention and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. And that is Red Dragon Inn Battle for Greyport. And Battle for Greyport is my favorite cooperative deck builder. Just bar none. I like the world. I like the dice chucking. I love that there's no cards to just buy more cards. It's just really, really good. I really enjoy it. In fact, I will have a playthrough coming up sometime this summer. I'm actually hoping to maybe record it on Thursday. We'll see. But I'm hoping I might get a chance to. Coming at number 4. Number 4 is one that I have a video out recently on, and that is Azul Duel. Now, in my brain, Azul and Sagrada always kind of live next to each other, and that's because they kind of came out around the same time. They're both very, very pretty and about making pretty things, the windows versus the tiles, and they're about the same weight. And then also both of them have a whole bunch of expansions and different versions and everything. And I have Sagrada, and I've played a lot of Sagrada because my wife loves Sagrada. But I'd never played a lot of Azul. So I had the opportunity to get Azul Duel, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And so I grabbed it, played it with my wife, and we had a good time. And I think the way that Azul Duel kind of brings things down to just 2 players, it adds a couple things that base Azul doesn't have that I think are pretty darn clever. And so I actually think it's a good way to play Azul, is the Azul Duel version. So I was quite impressed by it. I really enjoyed it. Number 3 is, I believe, the second time in a row this is on the list. That is Splitto from 25th Century Games. This is, again, a game that I need to make a video for. That is just really a clever, fast, have it in your bag game. Really easy to get tabled, really easy to teach, and is pretty darn satisfying as you're going through, and it has a bit of, you have to pay attention to what everybody else around the table is doing, and you're really working together, but also against the people to your right and left at the same time. Pretty darn clever. Number 2 is Oathsworn. As I mentioned, it was on the list for the month, and I played several times, so that knocks it all the way up to number 2. Boss battler with some really good story, great narration, very, very clever game. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping to actually get it finished before the end of July, the whole thing. That's kind of my hope. Will it happen? Maybe, because I also got some new Madara stuff in theory coming soon. I got to get through Madara and all kinds of things I got to do, but we shall see. I am hopeful. And then number 1 on the list is Fate of the Fellowship, the Lord of the Rings new pandemic-style game from Matt Leacock. I happen to still, for a few more weeks, have a copy of it, and it's just a really clever pandemic take. My understanding is it's based on the Fall of Rome system, which, sure, I guess I don't know anything about, but it has this clever bit of moving armies and using different characters, and the characters play very, very differently, and the different quests you have to do to unlock the final quest are always different, and it's just really, really clever. It's got a lot of swinginess with your rolling dice, and of course dice are swingy, and then the very last thing you do, it's always a dice roll, and it can just crush you, there's nothing you can do. And you're flipping cards, and the cards can just be nasty, and you have to draw cards to do things, and sometimes you just can't get the cards that you need. So there's a lot of swings that can be in there, but it's really, really clever, and I do enjoy it, and I'm kind of sorry that I have to give it up in a couple of weeks. So that brings me into the picks for June. And to start out with, we have the list. Honestly, I don't think we're going to knock anything off the list, but one can hope. Next, 3rd month in a row, Run, Run, Run. I really want to play this thing, and I'm hoping I can actually get my butt in gear and do it. Next on the list is another repeat, and that is Oathsworn. As I said, I really want to kind of finish up the campaign, get all the way through it, and so if I can knock out another 4 scenarios, then I'm getting really close. I think it puts me at 16 to 21 if I do that, so cooking through, getting through there, we shall see, but I really want to play at least another 2 scenarios, maybe 3 or 4. Next is Takenoko. This is an older game that we picked up when I was back home this summer. My wife and I went to a board game shop and we saw this game. She thought it was cute, wanted to try it. We played it there at the store, had a really good time with it, so really hoping to get that to the table again. This is a game where you are a gardener in a bamboo garden trying to wrangle the royal panda. The panda goes around and eats stuff, and you're trying to send it to eat certain things and grow your bamboo and all of that. And there's weather that does stuff, and it scares the panda. It runs and eats something. And then there's an expansion that I recently got, which is a Mrs. Panda, and there can be baby pandas and kind of moving around. And it's very light, very family-friendly game, but it's really, really cute. And it's really fun just kind of digging in and playing and trying to make things happen. The last one on the list is the only one that I'm 50-50 I'm going to get played. And that's because I know that I'm taking a trip. I'm going to be gone for a good chunk of the month. I'm not going to be here. I can't take it with me. So that's going to chop out some time, so we shall see. That is Creel Manor from All or Nothing Games. And I've been holding on to this since I think December, maybe January. And I just have not been able to get it to the table. But I just recently got in a bunch of stuff from Game Toppers. One of them is this cool horror mat, which is perfect for this game. So I'm really hoping I get my button gear, I get at the table. It's really this kind of adventure dungeon crawly card game that is very horror centric, and you have different characters and stuff. So I'm excited to try it. Mark Dainty from Not Board Gaming spoke pretty highly of it, so I'm really excited to actually get to the table, but we shall see. Now that brings us to the part of the show that everyone's been waiting for, and that is thank you to our sponsor, Noble Knight Games. As always, you'll find on every description, since they started sponsoring me, an affiliate link. What that means is if you use that link and buy something, it costs you nothing extra. But assuming the cookies and all are set up right, then I actually will get a little bit of store credit based on what it is that you spent. Again, costs you nothing and gets me something. And they also send me a little bit of store credit every month, which I use to pick up various games that wind up making their way onto the table. In fact, I'm just about done with a video on Survive the Island, which I picked up from Noble Knight Games. And earlier I had a video on River of Gold, and so on and so forth. So as always, I really do appreciate them. It's a great place to find used games and out-of-print games, though obviously out-of-print games can sometimes be expensive, and also good prices on new games as well. And they are someone that I actually made use of them before they were ever a sponsor, before they knew who I was. I sold them some used games and bought stuff and all of that. So thank you to Noble Knight Games. However, more importantly, thank you to the channel members. I greatly appreciate that you guys are kind of helping me out. It allows me to attend conventions, upgrade my equipment. I just recently got some new lapel mics. I recently had to replace the mic that's on top of the camera right now, and new memory cards. Those things die. I don't know those things die, but they die on occasion. Get some new things like that. And as I mentioned, is actually helping me spend a little more time out at RageCon at the end of this month. So thank you very much to all the channel members. You've seen their names kind of going across the bottom of the screen on the ticker. I think that's the right way. I did my finger that way. And there's 3 different levels. You can check out the way to do that. Just go down the description. It'll say join this channel, and you can join right up. I really, really appreciate all of the support. And if you don't feel you can do that, thank you for watching and subscribing and sharing and all. And with that said, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.